Hey team, welcome to this week's drawing challenge, which is looking at how to draw a lantern. Now, it's quite fun. It's a little bit technical because you have to make sure the angles of your lines are the right way, just so it has that weird, box in the sky kind of thing going on. So, grab your ruler, your 2B and your 8B because we're also going to push it really dark, and let's get started. With this drawing, you're going to start in the middle. So draw yourself pretty much a straight line that goes down. And then you want to draw two lines that come from the top and the bottom of the center. And look at what time this is. When I say what time is it, I'm going to pop a little clock on the screen. And you can see the angle of the line. It's probably around 3:30 on the right-hand side and 8:30 on the left-hand side. So this is a really great trick when you're struggling with the angle of the lines. Make sure your angles are below the horizon line and they're both parallel with each other. So if you've got one line, you want to do exactly the same angle underneath. Now I like to overextend these just so I have enough space and I can start to judge the proportions. So don't worry if your lines are too long. I'd rather them be too long than too short. Then what you want to do is just close off those edges to make that box. Now, these are not parallel. They kind of go at a bit of an angle, so just watch out for that as well. So I'd like you now just to work your way around the outline, checking the angle of the lines. I very briefly spoke about the clock theory just now. Just imagine whatever line you're doing, the start or the end is the center of the clock and you're reading the time on the hour hand. I find that easier because often we can say, okay, it's 1:10 or 6:05, and it just makes it a little bit easier to understand the lines basically. So feel free to pause the video or to just go from the drawing itself and ignore me. It's completely up to you, but I just want you to spend a little bit of time doing your outline, and then we'll talk about the fun bit, the shading, and where to go super dark. So this is a really dark object, but we do have light coming from the inside. I don't want us to worry too much about what's happening in the bulb. I just want us to worry about what's happening on the outside. So grab your 8B, make sure it's super sharp, and let's start the best part. You've done the hard work now, the rest is super easy. So we are going to go for it with our 8B. Often when we're drawing, we are absolutely terrified of using a dark pencil, and I totally get it because we think it's permanent. We think we can't come back from it, but it's not true. You absolutely can come back from a dark mistake. Often when we're shading something in really dark and we need to rub it out, we never need to go back to white. So if you do need to rub something out, the chances are it needs to have some shade in it anyway. So don't be afraid, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is shade the right-hand side, especially the metal part, really, really dark. So if you remember from our value scale, this is value 10. On the left-hand side, it's going to be lighter. So what I need you to do, folks, is I need you to get different shades. Try your hardest not to make it just black because, sometimes we get carried away and we actually forget to look at the image itself. So if you haven't done so already, look at the picture. Make sure you're checking what's dark and what's light, and you should be able to instantly see something is 3D. Now, what you might end up doing is shading extremely light, but promise me, everything is going to be value 5 or above. That's over halfway on the dark scale. So work your way around the drawing now, pushing the dark bits dark. This is easing us into this month's testing lessons where I'm going to pull you out of your comfort zone and make you shade things how they should be. I feel like an army militant being like, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. But it's good for you. Trust me, it's really important. So once you've done that, for the glass and for the light, it's too much work right now, to be honest. And I think it looks fine not shading any of the light inside of the glass. But if you want to try, by all means, give it a go. I just think today's win is getting the shading, getting the dark bit and getting the little bit lighter part. So folks, don't worry about the glass. Just get the left side lighter and the right side a little bit darker. Okay team, there we have it. Our first dark shading of the month. So as you can see, the left side is a little bit darker on the glass. It's a bit shiny, so it's not really the best way to show you. But it's a nice exercise just to practice. Also another chance for us to use a ruler, because I know it's quite satisfying. And I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did and you want to support me, head on over to Patreon and just pledge £3 a month so we can keep making content like this and help you become the artist you've always wanted to be. So I'll see you next week for another dark shading session.